Hello, anyone out there who's listening. So this is just my experience with trying to find someone who I didn't even know it was a thing, to be honest. I wanted to find someone who could help me create what I had in my mind, as I just wanted something a bit different. So to start with, I basically worked out what I wanted to do, and as you can see, I wanted to do something related to The Little Mermaid 23 with Halle Bailey as the inspiration. To start off with, I was just going to use her head, and I wanted to find someone who I could work with, so I didn't know where to start. So I thought Etsy was a place to start, but didn't find anything there. And then I tooled over to Fiverr, and this is where I met the incredible Kip Art, who's been incredibly helpful, and I couldn't recommend them more. So originally, I said I just wanted the head doing, but I wanted to attach it to a angelophilia body. So there wasn't any actual way that I could figure out to attach it. So I asked them, and they were incredibly helpful, incredibly knowledgeable about what we could do and how I could actually attach the head. And this is where they were able to come up with the idea and how I could attach it and create it in the next couple of photos. But here we see next, here is the design process that happened. So I sent them over the reference photos, and we went from there. There was a little bit of back and forth on what I liked and what I didn't like, and they were incredibly helpful. I couldn't recommend them more. And as you can see you'll see in the next photo how it actually looked when we printed it. Now, I don't have a 3D printer myself, so I headed over to Etsy, and that's where I found PM Printing, who did a cracking job at printing out exactly what I wanted. They were really helpful, really knowledgeable, and I really highly recommend them. As you can see, I've not completely finished painting the doll head yet, but from here it was just a case of treating it like a normal BJD, build up a couple of layers with Mr. Super Clear, and then use my air gun and build from there with a bit of pastels as well. And I was so happy with the results, I actually decided to go back to Kip Art and see if we could make the full body. So to the mermaid doll, this is where I sent over the concept art. So a couple of BJD dolls I'd seen out there, a couple of mermaid tails of Halle Bailey's, and then I sent over this image of kind of the height I wanted it to be. And from there, Kipper Art started designing the process of the doll. As you can see, it's gone through a couple of changes before we were finally happy at the end. So then it was back over to BM Printing to have it printed out. As you see, the tail part was so big it had to be printed in plastic rather than the resin. And then here she is. So I strung her up. As you see, I've still got to paint the rest of the body, but I think she looks fantastic. I was really happy with the process, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone who wanted to give it a go. I'd highly recommend the people I've worked with. What I've learned through this experience is that basically anything you can imagine can be created, within reason, of course. And I was so lucky to find the artist that I worked with, Kipper Art. I'd highly recommend them, and everyone else that I've worked with, because they've just been so helpful and so incredibly knowledgeable about how I can make it with it still actually working, as in like still moving and being able to hold positions. I asked a BJD group what they'd be interested in, or if they had any questions about my experience, and the one that came back to me was, what's the doll made out of? It's simply just made out of resin, except the tail end of the tail, which was made out of plastic just because the piece was too big. I'd just like to say thank you to a couple of people. A special thanks to the Facebook group BJD Safe Haven. You guys have been great. Kipper Art and the Etsy company PM Printing. Thanks so much. I plan to make this version 1 of the video, so if anyone's got any ideas or anything they want me to add into the video, please let me know and I'll do my best to add in. Thanks again.